If you asked most people to imagine a map of the regions of the EU, I think on the whole they would envisage something very much like this, showing the major nation states. If you ask most people to envisage a map of the regions of Germany, I think unless they were Germans they might struggle, but they still know that Germany has strong regions. Indeed, this is the case for most of the nations of the European Union. Their regions are an important part of the structure and history of the nation. This can be seen no more certainly than in France, and I think many English and British people are confident of the names of many of the regions of France, the ones that they go on holiday to. They go on holiday to Brittany. Although we British may not be so keenly aware of it, the regions of Belgium are very significant for the people, having more to do with the people perhaps than the nation state of Belgium itself. Certainly at the moment this is a problem. It's very much the same with Holland, where the northern regions do consider themselves to be very much a separate part of the country. And so it is. The regions of nations like Greece, and particularly with Italy, have their history stretching back thousands of years. So this phenomenon can be seen across Europe, where wars may have changed the nationality of the government in control, and national boundaries may have responded accordingly. For the regions mean everything to the people. It's not just their history and maybe where their families have come from. It's to do with the landscape and the climate and the food. These are all really little countries. So whilst the European Union know that this effect is going to be reasonably successful in Europe, where people will happily see their nations slowly lose relevance, that their regions gain relevance, and that their regions deal more and more directly with the European Union. In the United Kingdom, the situation will appear to be slightly different. The UK is set to be divided into 12 regional authorities. Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland will be 3 of them, and then England itself will be divided into a further 9. Now these 9 regions do not bear a relevance to the existing divisions that we have, which are our counties. Already in place in England is the network of government offices, and here we see 11 Whitehall departments devolving power to these regional authorities, and the regional authorities dealing directly with the European Union already, preparing to take over responsibility for education, health, roads, planning, emergency, culture and so on a regional level. The difference for Britain and Ireland is that we have had our counties, and that is the way that our people think about our country. Certainly we're not as fanatical about our counties perhaps as Europeans are about their regions, especially in certain regions. For the regions that we've been prescribed by the EU, perhaps with the exception of Yorkshire, have little relevance to our lives. Yeah, okay, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland people will respond to. But what Cornish man has an affinity with Bristol? Not many, I think. How many people from Romford feel that the Wash is part of the region where they come from? The boundaries of the counties of Britain and Ireland follow much the same lines as those old kingdoms originally fought over after the Romans left Britain in the Dark Ages. Since Alfred the Great and the Norman invasion, Britain has really stabilised, and we have had a consistent political situation that is unprecedented in continental Europe. That is why they hold their regions so close to their hearts, because they have remained pretty well unchanged, and we hold our nation close to our heart. Looking again at this map, not only are the 9 regions of England a daunting prospect, but it's worth noting that Scotland and Wales have been illustrated broken away from the rest of the landmass. I don't think the EU are proposing to dig a channel, but I think they might as well. Then when looking at Northern Ireland, there seems to be a bit of an inconsistency, since it's not broken away from Southern Ireland. And it begs the question, I wonder why. Looking at the map from the Irish Regional Office, it's strange to see that Dublin and Cork are in the southern section, whereas the northern section doesn't have a major city. But like a jigsaw, it seems to have a big chunk missing. It's pretty plain to see from this map that the intention is that the northern region of Ireland and Northern Ireland itself are going to be brought together as one EU region, giving that northern region its city and its economic powerhouse. But the EU's intention to break up the nation states that currently comprise the Union do not end with the regionalisation of those nations. The intention then is to set up mega-regions. The mega-regions then are at the moment thought of as sort of enterprise zones of geographically and economically similar EU regions. But in time, these will create an identity of their own, designed to usurp the national identity that had come before it. And after a generation or two has passed, maybe they'll look back on our old nations with some vague, quizzical nostalgia. Or maybe they'll look back and think, how the hell did these people let this happen to their country? But whatever it will be, we will end up with a generation or two away from us now, if this is allowed to continue unhindered, with a very different shape to the world as we know it today, and drawn up without the approval of the people, and drawn up without our certain knowledge of who the real beneficiaries of this are.